Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Okay. What's up, everybody? Z to the O to the E here, and welcome to watching me on a live stream. I have not done one of these in a really long time, and there's been multiple reasons behind why that is. One, well, my internet's been horrible ever since I moved into an RV park that had, no cell signal, and thus I didn't have the strength to actually stream from that location, which put a damper on making content for all of you. And two, it's been a long time. Just been a long time. It's been difficult to actually live stream, and I've recently got a new internet connection, which has made it a lot easier to do live streaming. And that's been only about a month ago, literally right before the coronavirus. Oh no, after the coronavirus, when I bugged out to Fallbrook, California, that I get working. Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. Josh, 661 FPV, Double A, and Travis Hansen. And of course, WCO3. Yeah, so this is a kind of a clickbaity title, but that's not completely clickbait. Because it's like, this is the end, or it's just the beginning. And it is just the beginning of some really cool stuff. So, first I want to talk about the end. Because there's been a long saga in my life that I think a lot of you have probably been aware of, and that has been part of me and my story. So about a year and a half ago, I had to give up my life as a freestyle / racing pilot, trying to make my living off of just racing and freestyle. The industry was kind of in a crunch, there's a lot of hype initially, but this is the next big sport. It's going to be amazing. It's going to make tons of money. I was having people tell me I was going to be able to make a living off of it, and that it was going to be my path forward in the world. And so I followed that path forward after winning my first race, the first ever AMA sanctioned race, and then going to drone nationals, and then over time accumulating 20 titles and trophies in drone sports, tons of podiums. I thought that was my thing. I lived to compete, and it just didn't work out. No. The industry was not very kind to me in a multitude of ways. Sponsorships really didn't pay enough to make it livable for me in Santa Cruz, California, which is where, my hometown is essentially. And as much as I love Santa Cruz, I couldn't live there anymore, and I didn't know what to do. I thought things were going to be able to work out somehow, and I was going to be able to move or / stay in Santa Cruz and keep doing what I was doing as I was doing it. But alas, that is not how life works out sometimes. And I put out a video saying, my life is falling apart, essentially. I don't know what to do. I have nowhere to go. I can't keep doing what I'm doing. And it was extremely frustrating. And from that's how RV life came to be. One of my fans posted, hey, I've got an RV for you. It runs, but it hasn't ran in several years. If you come down and get it working, it's yours. And at the time, I wasn't really even entertaining RV life, but it was a better option than nothing. And quite honestly, kind of intoxicating. The idea that I could travel around in the RV, make content and keep flying and making, videos that I actually enjoy was super exciting for me, actually. I was really, really excited to get into that life. And to do that, I had a GoFundMe. UAV Futures posted a video saying, hey, go subscribe to her Patreon. And I sold a bunch of equipment to be able to afford getting the RV working and making that happen. It was a saga of about 3.5, 4 months before I got the RV completely decked out with solar panels, a battery bank, got the generator working again, got a bunch of the main stuff on the RV working, got new tires, started gutting certain parts of the RV to turn it into a workspace, like my 6-foot workspace here. It was a lot of work. And for about a year in Fandom FU's end of what? I'm going to get to that here in a second. And hey, Malice, Tailspin, Logan, Duck Mesquee, Richard Morrow, Josh Burns, and Travis Hansen, welcome to the stream. Hey, Will. So Will is actually one of my coworkers, and I'm going to get to that in a moment. But yeah, so I did the RV life thing, and while I was moving out of Santa Cruz, I was contacted by a company called Hess Systems. And they said, hey, Zoe, we think we might have a job for you down here in San Diego. You should come down here, check it out, and feel out the area. Um, and I was like, yeah, sure. In my mind, I was at the time, I just need to get the RV going because I don't know where else I'm going to go. And I've already put in a lot of resources into making this happen. So that was my number one priority. Well, they waited a little bit, and eventually I was able to drive/fly into San Diego, stay for a few days, feel things out with my current coworkers, and yeah, my first project with them was to make a brick bot, which was a small ducted propeller setup that lifts a 5-pound brick. And within about a month or so, I had that working. And so that was like my test project that got me more or less the job that I currently have now. And so I was torn between this concept of, do I live the RV life, continue making content, living off of Patreon essentially, or do I take a job with a little bit more job security, with, some long-term goals, not just a year, but really some good long-term goals, and try to make a real life for myself, and also be able to work in an industry that I love, doing what I'm good at, which is making new innovative stuff, right? So I took the job. I moved the RV down to San Diego. I was living off the beach for like 2 months before they started shutting that idea down here in San Diego. Like, they made it illegal for vehicles over 27 feet to be parked anywhere on a public road at night from like 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. or some stupid thing like that. And my RV is 31 feet, so I could not legally park it anywhere. So I was boondocking. Like, I had solar panels set up from Kent West and 29 Palms. I had the ability to be self-contained wherever I went. Yeah, so that was pretty frustrating. So I moved into an RV park that had no internet, and that's why I have not had the ability to really live stream since then. But, I've been live streaming from my, new office and studio in San Diego, doing a podcast right before the coronavirus shut that down. Anyways, why am I saying all this? Well, I love my job. I love working here in San Diego, and I love my life. And I've been here now for about a year. Oh my God, it has been basically a year now. And I've been ready for more. And so I am moving out of the RV. This is what the announcement is. This is the end. This is the end of the RV life era. I'm not getting rid of the RV though. This is my baby. I've put so much work into this damn thing. I have so many crazy, wonderful memories with it that I'm never, ever gonna get rid of this thing. It's also a great backup plan. If my life completely falls apart for whatever stupid reason, at least I've got this. So I'm gonna be actually moving within walking distance to the Outcast Droneworks studio over the next week or so. And I'm extremely excited because the new location is a lot bigger than my old workshop in Santa Cruz. And Ocean Beach area of San Diego is a lot better. We have basically everything I loved about Santa Cruz, which was the water, the amazing views, the local culture, which was like a little counterculture, kind of hippie-ish, more laid back, more, beach towny. And it was just intoxicating. It's like everything I learned about Santa Cruz, but better, except the friends. I really still miss a lot of my friends in Santa Cruz. But yeah, so I'm going to be moving down, basically picking up the keys to my apartment tomorrow. And no, I'm staying in San Diego. San Diego is my home for the foreseeable future. I love it here. Hopefully I'll be staying here for at least a few more years, if not much longer, as things progress. But yeah, so I am going to be leaving the RV where it's at, up at my friend Llama's place. The Quaddy Llama, one of my favorite pilots, really, really good friend. He's been so awesome to let me stay up here during the coronavirus outbreak to get away from everything. I have a space outside I can go fly my drones. I can go inside and hang out with him. So it's been really nice actually to stay up here. But that means I'm going to have basically a getaway. I can come back to the RV, take it out on trips, and actually use the RV for what I really, really like. Which I'm excited for. So this summer, look forward to more amazing stuff with this. And Miss MN Paul says, don't let Mr. Motorface fall into disrepair. It's easier to do regular maintenance. Yes. Yeah, no, I'm going to be coming back up here probably every other week to do a little bit something on the RV, because the solar panels need a little TLC. There's like one of the panels literally ripped off mid-drive, and it pulled out a couple of the wires, but super easy to fix. And then the 110 system fuse box needs to be replaced. But mechanically, it's still good. I've been keeping it up to date. And the only other thing beyond that is replacing the battery bank, because I was using the batteries every day and essentially doing a charge cycle on lead acid. And that caused the whole thing to basically die down over time. I mean, lead acid batteries aren't really made for the kind of charge cycles I was running them on. So I was essentially using the solar panels to charge everything up. Then at night, the lead acid battery bank was providing me in my computer and everything. I was using power to continue running without having to use a generator. But I have plans to get all that fixed. And realistically, it's not that expensive to get all of that fixed. And I have some friends here that'll hopefully be able to help me do it. And yeah, so that's kind of the end and the beginning. I am currently looking forward to building out a new, more amazing workshop in San Diego. The apartment I'm moving into is way bigger than the one I moved out of in Santa Cruz. And I don't know what I'm going to do with the space. Like, I literally don't know how I'm going to fill the space yet. I have an idea for a workbench, but I have no idea how I'm going to do anything else with anything else, really. And it's too much space. And I say that, it's not like it's a huge location, mind you, but for me, it's a lot of space. It's like when I moved out of Santa Cruz, I moved out with my mom, and she's now doing her own thing, and I'm on my own. I've been on my own now for like 6-ish months. So I'm moving into my own apartment, a 1-bedroom by myself, and that is pretty amazing. A lot of things have happened in the positive since I started working, more or less full time. I have a Mini Cooper. I love my Mini Cooper. It's a 2013 Mini Cooper. I absolutely love driving that. I'm going to get a tow hitch for it so I can actually tow the Mini Cooper with the RV. And then I don't know. Like, I've worked on my credit score. I've been getting an apartment. And I stopped smoking weed. It's been a while since I stopped doing that. I've been doing a lot of things I thought would bring more positivity into my life, and to, take life more seriously, because I had a huge wake-up call, and I realized, if I'm smart about things and I don't cling to the idea of what my ideal life is, I can push forward and do something great. And so that's what I've been doing with Outcast Droneworks. This is why I'm really moving, is because I have the ability to store the RV here. It's like, if I was to store it at a local storage place, it'd be like $300 a month. But Lom and I love hanging out, so we're just going to keep the RV up at his place, and I don't have to pay to keep it here. So that's $300 a month I could just kind of put back into the RV, at least in my head. And so that's more than enough to get this thing, and keep it topped off in, repairs. I'm going to keep the workbench in here. I'm going to keep, it's basically going to be the ultimate drone RV getaway setup, instead of a living house, because there's so much stuff in here because I live in it. So I'm super excited. And what I'm really, really excited for is the fact that I'm going to be within walking distance to the Outcast Droneworks studio. So I'll have my own workspace at my home, especially with my chronic pain issues. If I need to go chill out, I can just walk home, relax, and if I need to go back to work for whatever reason, say one of the employees needs help with packaging or they need my hands-on experience, I can easily just drop down to do that. And that's huge for me, because I don't like driving. I do it, but I don't like doing it. And I really like the Ocean Beach area. Like, to me, it's like the best part of San Diego. So that's super stoked. And with the Outcast Droneworks, we have the new micro hot kits, and I'm blown away by how many of them we're selling right now from one video from Rotor Riot. I think, and that's the other thing, I'm still a Rotor Riot pilot, which is so awesome. There's so many awesome things in my life right now that I'm so thankful for. From where I was a year and a half ago to where I am now, And no, I'm not selling my Mini Cooper. I love my Mini. I'm not selling it. Nope. 2013 Mini Cooper. It was not exactly cheap, and it runs great. It needs a little TLC, but it runs amazing. Yeah. So and I've done some cool road trips with that. Like there's several. And I'll get to the content here in a minute and why I haven't had a chance to really make a bunch of content. But yeah. So I'm excited. I'm going to be able to make a lot more content. I'm going to be focusing myself on content creation for Outcast Droneworks, doing build videos, how-tos, essentially promoting ways that people can use our new kit to do different things. Because we're trying to build an ecosystem and a community around a MakerBot. Essentially, not just like a regular FPV drone, and not necessarily targeted to the FPV flying market. Even though it's a great flyer and it flies for like 20 minutes and sub 250 grams, it's not a general hobby kit. This is for makers, tinkers, colleges, universities, schools to build on top of and to do the next great project. And that is, I think, a huge thing. So building a whole ecosystem for it is very important, and we want to be able to do a lot of different things. So we're working on an API right now for that allow the Pi to talk to the flight controller and vice versa, and do remote ground station keeping. And then within that, we'll be able to do swarming and be able to have people write Python scripts to interact with that API to control the drone in whatever fashion they want to do. So it's different. And we're also going to have add-on kits for that kit. So people can get parts, bolt onto the drone, and do different things with those parts. And the interesting question, Bull S FPV Paul says, Outcast X Class? That is actually potentially a thing that's going to be happening sooner or later. My next project, I mean, I wouldn't say the Microhawk is done yet as far as a project. There's still a lot of stuff that I personally have to do, especially now over the next month and a half. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to move now, is that I've got a lot of work to do. I've got a lot of long days ahead of me getting content and getting everything done to get these kits out to people and hopefully make all of you happy. Like the people that I get these kits, I want them to feel supported. I want to make sure that we have the content for the build videos, the how-tos. So when they get these kits, they can actually put them together and use them. And, you know, I want to build that ecosystem. It takes a lot of work to build an ecosystem, a community like that. And I'm trying to make sure that we do it right. Like I've spent 30, 40 hours within the last week just answering people's questions and talking to people and, you know, being that face for it. And that's, you know, taken a lot of my time. So now that I'm going to be closer to work, you know, I can, you know, do what I need at home, pop over to the shop to do integration. Like, for example, we're doing 4-cell lithium ion testing as of yesterday, and it's going pretty well, actually. William Kimball, my coworker, he's been flying it on his HD Microhawk, and he absolutely love it. So, and it's cool. It's just it's one of those things that you can just strap a thing to it, because the kits are, all the kits that are shipping out are 4-cell capable. So you can strap a 4-cell battery to it, and get a lot more punch and basically a super agile drone. Even though you're adding weight, it's still a lot more peppy. And also you don't have to worry about the voltage because it's 4-cell with the Caddx unit. So it'll be very easy for people to just strap that to it and make it work. And on top of that, you know, we're doing a lot of in-house stuff still with different projects, some R&D stuff, as well as long-term X-Class level style giant drones. And one of the goals is to be able to apply a lot of what we're learning and doing with the Pis and the Microhawks and essentially building a much larger quote-unquote maker kit / a platform that you can actually do a lot of interesting things with, holds a lot more battery for a lot longer flight time, and potentially even race. You know, giant drones are in my blood. So we're actually, I'm working right now to get some X-Class frames. So I'm designing my own X-Class frame right now. I'm gonna keep the details of that under wraps because it's kind of a harkens back to one of my original drones. The drone that I have in the museum of the AMA is going to be a lot like my X-Class drone. It's just going to be a lot bigger. So Yeah, that's going to take a long time to get out because, again, my focus is the Microhawks right now. But in the midterm, we are going to hopefully start carrying the frames from Dysonian. And Dysonian he was my partner in crime for a large portion of my X-Class racing career. He and I collaborated on a lot of projects, and I was always trying to push him for the next great big thing. And, we did a lot of cool stuff. We won a lot of podiums within X-Class together. And it excites me that I'm going to be able to kind of work with him again and bring his product into my new store. Which kind of brings me to my next point. I am excited to get into the drone industry. And this is a big thing, I'm trying not to focus on the hobby market as we know it, because FPV hobby market is brutal. It's hard to maintain and make a lot of decent money with it. And honestly, it's not the core market I want to serve. It's one that I want to be a part of, but I have bigger dreams that go way beyond the hobby market. The commercial sector, the ability to do maker kits. Like, I'm going to be presenting hopefully at DEF CON, if it still happens, and Hacker Halted, which I'm confirmed for, do a presentation on how to use one of these little Microhawk kits for hacking and Wi-Fi goofiness and man-in-the-middle stuff. Stuff that I'm not necessarily the best at, know what it is, know how to talk about it, but I'll have a co-presenter that'll kind of talk about that, and I'll talk about the drone stuff. So, it's a different type of thing. It's also great because this kit is, I feel like, innovative. I've always been an innovator within the industry. The first set of X-Class parts that ever existed were basically because of what I did. The first X-Class frame that was officially released was my frame. The first ESCs were ESCs that I worked with a company to develop. The first prop company I worked with to develop. First motor company I worked with to develop. So from the complete power system was something that I really spent a lot of time making happen with X-Class. And since then, it's spawned an entire market of companies making new and innovative products in that sector, which has been amazing. It's absolutely crazy. And on top of that, like 3D flying and 3D propellers and the technology behind that didn't exist before me. And I basically kind of brought that into existence through pure sheer will and working with companies to make the parts needed to make it happen. So I've always kind of, besides flying and competing, one of my biggest passions has been making things available to the market for people. The biggest thing, though, is when I was doing the X-Class stuff and the 3D prop stuff and 3D motors and whatnot, I wasn't making any money from it. Like, I was doing it out of the passion to have this stuff because I wanted it, and I convinced companies to make it, and then I proved there was a market for it. And then at the end of it, I didn't get anything besides a little recognition and a pat on the back, which is fine. And that's also partially why my life fell apart, because I wasn't monetizing the way I should have been monetizing. And so with Outcast Droneworks, and especially Microhawk Kit, I am getting paid. Right now I feel like my boss is putting a lot of faith in me, and we both have this long-term vision for it. And, it's a startup essentially. So, we're not, I think this month might be the first month where we actually break even / are in the positive for once. And it's just the beginning. This is like literally within 1 month of going into actually advertising the kits, it's starting to become a thing, and it's actually becoming, at least right now, mostly self-sufficient, which is amazing. Like that's awesome. So thank you guys for supporting that and my mission to make that all happen. But yeah, so I don't want to announce everything, but I do have a side project. For those that know my 2010 motor for 3D, there may be a new version of the 2010 coming out soon from Outcast Droneworks, hopefully. That's much higher quality than the originals and way less and tons of advancements in it. So, and Tailspin, low cost, X-Class, impossible and dangerous. I won second place overall in the last season I was competing in, running a $600 X-Class setup. It was super cheap for an X-Class setup. And 239 Giant Sense 3D motor. Nope. I want to make that happen, but I'm not sure that's going to happen right now. I mean, unfortunately, IQ Motion Control still has not gotten back my rig that I sent them over a year ago to get it tuned out and ready for me to fly and promote. So I've been sad because I put a lot of my passion and heart into IQ Motion Control's technology. And again, one of those things where I was putting so much of my time and energy into not getting paid for, and ultimately other people benefiting from it, and me getting the short end of the stick. And I still love Matt. I have no qualms with them. Like, I'm willing to, at the drop of a hat, continue working with them. Because I believe in their technology, and I know that with the right TLC, it can still take over the market. So that's kind of my, I guess, thing right now, is that I am in a very good place in my life right now. A much better place than I've been in a very long time. Content-wise, I'm kind of sad because I have filmed so many videos over the last year, and I've released maybe less than a third of the content that I've actually, like, recorded. And so I feel like my channel has kind of died down a little bit because of it. And that to me is kind of sad, because I want to make more videos. And now with being in charge of creating content for Outcast Droneworks, I don't have the damn time. But I have been interviewing. This is actually a video that I still need to get out and make, which I haven't had time to do, and especially because the internet at the time. About a month ago, I contacted a bunch of video editors to edit footage. I was basically going to say, here's the footage. I'm going to take your videos and make a bigger video and kind of have people vote who they think is the best editor and who they want to see as my primary editors on my channel for both flight footages and vlogs. So that's kind of the thing that's happening. So my plan is to essentially offload almost all of my footage onto editors for them to edit. I'm still going to probably make some flight edits, because for me, that is where I started out as a hobby. Like, I've always made flight edits because I've enjoyed making flight edits. Like, the last few of them on my channel are freaking fire. And it makes me a little upset that they haven't got more views. The relax video is fire. It's pure fire. I do things in that video I've never done before with 3D. And the flying is, mwah, mwah, I love it. The video of me flying at the Bando, one shot take, just one battery, no edits, mwah, fire. Do things in that I haven't done before either. And so it's kind of frustrating, because those are some of my best flight edits and they've got some of the least amount of views, and it's just like, meh. But I'm not letting that get to me. I'm going to double down on content here soon and hopefully put out at least 1 to 2 videos a week, get back to live streaming. I'll be doing a podcast live from the Outcast studio, hopefully once a week, once the coronavirus stuff dies down and we can stop social distancing properly. And do it live in studio, you know, like we built an entire studio just to make content for Outcast Droneworks. And I'll be building a studio in my own house for my own content, you know, and the two will be kind of interchangeable, which will be nice. But yeah, so that's kind of my goal right now, is to get back to content after I get moved, get the Outcast Droneworks stuff, you know, basically pull a lot of 14, 16-hour days until things are caught up and I feel comfortable where we're at. Right now we're waiting on shipping of a lot of parts. There's a lot of stuff that's currently being shipped to us for the kits, and we have a ton of kits to get out. We had over 200 motors ordered a while ago, and we have to order more motors because we're running out of motors for the kits. We have enough of them right now for all the kits that are currently ordered, but people keep buying, and this is the funny thing. Every time someone buys a kit, I'm like, oh God, why? Why are they buying more? This is just more work for me to do. This is so much more work, oh God. Because we're so behind, and we're going to be behind for at least another month because of the coronavirus shipping issues that we're having, just getting stuff in. Like, we're going to retailers, like every retailer we can, and it's because going directly to the factories, some factories are closed. We can't actually get the parts directly from the factories right now. So we have to go to retailers that have some of the parts in stock, and we're literally buying up people's entire stock of parts at retail just for the kits, to get them bought in the kits for people to have. So we're doing everything we can to get parts in for kits to get out. We have a bunch of batteries we have to manufacture. Thankfully, we can manufacture them here in the United States at the Outcast Droneworks studio and lab here in San Diego. So it's not super, frustrating, but it is also kind of amazing. So we've got 20 batteries the next, because we have enough batteries or enough parts to make 20 more batteries. And we're going to start getting out the battery orders as they've come in. And then we should be able to get that done next week. And then the week after that, hopefully, we'll be able to do another 20 batteries, which will get us caught up on all of the battery orders. And then we should have another shipment of parts coming in to finish off the kit batteries and get them ready for the kits. And essentially just then wait for all the parts to show up for the kits. We have frames coming in soon. We have the stacks. We were able to actually contact the factory that makes our stacks and get them for a good price and be able to actually get them direct from manufacturer. And they shipped. They've officially shipped from China, so the stacks are coming, which is a huge part of the bundle. So things are in motion. I'm hoping we can get stuff out to people before next month at this time. Like, it's looking good, but I don't want to promise anything, and I'm kind of telling people it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks. Just the way things are happening, trying to give us a little bit of leeway. So even though it's hard to hear that, it'll sting less if stuff shows up early, and at the very least we should be able to get stuff to people on time without being like, well, we had more delays and things aren't going to be able to ship out for a while, so sorry about that, guys. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to I want to set expectations a little low and hopefully be able to exceed them. And be honest with y'all. Like, in a lot of the blog posts and stuff, I've been extremely honest with the stuff we're facing with. When people ask, hey, where are the kits? Do you have an estimate? I go with a page-long spiel of, this is what we're dealing with, this is why it's taking so long, this is why, it's going to take a while to get you your parts. And people appreciate that. It's versus like, oh, we're just waiting on shipment. No, I want to be open about what's happening with y'all so you can be a part of the process and you understand that we're not just sitting around doing nothing. And be involved in that, because again, we're trying to build a community, and to do that you have to have good communication to the community. And that's one of the things I've been doing on. So if you don't know Outcast Droneworks, go check out the website. I basically built the website. If you want, go check out the Outcast Facebook group. Like, I'm in there every few days with another post about what we're doing. And, just, if you have any questions, contact me. Like, I have finally gotten mostly caught up with all the questions. I think I still have to finish some of the questions I got earlier today from Zoe at outcastdroneworks.com. So, like, it's been a process, and it's one that I'm learning, as I go. But I think I've got a pretty good handle on it so far. So yeah, I'm super stoked. Being so close to the office will allow me to show up at like 8 a.m., roll out of bed, take a shower, go to work, stay an entire day, and basically leave the office at 10 p.m. if I need to, roll into my bed within 15 minutes, and start the whole process over. Because there's a few days where I was seriously thinking about just going to work and bringing a pillow and blanket and sleeping under my desk. And my boss really didn't want me to do that. But that's also part of startup culture. I know a lot of people and stories, especially in the video game industry, where if you're in crunch time, there's people that do that. There's people that actually like sacrifice to do that to make stuff happen in time. Moontaloo is one of my other coworkers, Michael. He's a super cool dude. Love playing games with him. And he's a really good pilot. Like, he learned how to fly on sim, and I'm speaking to chat. He learned how to fly FPV on sim, and he started getting into micros, and he got his goggles, transmit, and all this stuff. And then we went out flying before the coronavirus. I just handed him my 5-inch setups, and he freaking kills it on the 5-inch. And that's the other cool thing. Since I started working with Hess Systems and Outcast Droneworks, I have been able to get so many of my coworkers into FPV. And so I have like kind of my core group of FPV flyers. My boss flies. He's gotten a lot better. Will, aka what's his Megalodon 77. He flies. He's a pretty freaking good pilot. He was a good pilot before I showed up, and he's gotten a lot better since I've known him. Crystal's even gotten into flying. She needs to practice more. I've been trying to poke at her to practice more because I want to go fly with Crystal more. She's fun. Sean, one of my other coworkers, he's learned how to fly on sim. He's pretty good. Like, I want to take him out to the field and just give him a drone to go fly and see how he does. And so yeah, there's a lot of people in the office that are flying. We generally have a simulator set up for people to fly and practice with in the office, which has been really cool. Another reason why I love my job. It's not just, what I'm doing, which I really love doing. It's the people that I'm working with, and the stuff. It's just so many factors. Like, when I go to work, I'm inspired by the people that I'm working with. I think that is one of the things that's most intoxicating about where I work, is that it's not just like a job. It's not just a cool job. Not just working in the drone industry, but I truly love my coworkers, and I have fun with them. We have fun together. I'm inspired by them constantly. And for me, that's a huge thing. Like, that's something that I feel like you can't just get with every job. So I feel extremely blessed to have that in my life. And also it makes me feel like I made the right decision coming down to San Diego. And then I also have a great friend group here. And this is within the last year. I fly with the 2-Watt crew, aka the Sunday Squad. Amazing group of people. I'm friends with pretty much everyone at Newbie Drone. Like, I love those people. They're some of my homies. Like, Newbie Drone's been a sponsor of mine for a long time, and I don't give them enough love. They deserve a lot more. I'm one of the few sponsored pilots that's not a sponsored pilot by them. Anytime I need anything, they send it out to me, and there's never been a question about, hey, can you make a video on this? They just hand me gear to go fly with, and that is amazing. That's honestly the way I feel like a lot of sponsorships should be. There shouldn't be like strict, you get this if you do this, you better do this so you can do this. That gets frustrating, because for me, flying is a passion, and it's kind of turned more into a hobby. And to make it more into a job kills it for me. And now that FPV and drones are my job, I kind of need to have that hobby like division so I don't get burnt out. And that's, I think, huge. So yeah, I feel very blessed. And that's why I say this is the beginning of something new and the end to an era. An era of living in the RV, an era of trying to figure out what it is I'm doing with my life, because I feel like I've got stuff pretty well figured out. And it's made me a lot more resilient. This last year and a half of life, I feel like I've grown more as a person than I have in the last 5 years. And that's something I crave. I crave personal growth now. And it's gonna be a new era. I don't know what to call the next era and chapter of my life, but I'm gonna make it awesome, and I'm gonna make sure that I keep ripping packs, keep uploading footage. It's one of the things, like, even through all of this even through all of this within the last year and a half, and everything I went through with my health issues in the past, which I still deal with, again, chronic pain, at least now chronic pain. It was a lot worse at one point in time. I had a lot of other things I was dealing with. And now I am, I still upload. Like, through the entirety of my life of being an FPV pilot, I've always uploaded content. Like, I know a lot of OG pilots that stop doing that for one reason or another. They get burnt out. They don't have the same kind of kick and thrill / feeling they had at one point in time. And, and some of my favorite pilots have, kind of just stopped. And I don't want to ever do that. Might sound a little contrived, but like, I've had tons of people contacting me saying my story has been inspiring to them. And for me to just stop the story, I feel like is going to stop the inspiration. And if there's still one person out there that I can inspire in a positive way, then it's worth it to me to keep making content. And even though my channel has been on the decline, I don't know if it's the algorithm, because I know a lot of FPV channels that have actually been on the decline, not just my own. I don't know if it's the algorithm, the fact that I'm not making, this is how you make this is how you do this, like how-to videos or review videos on drones that or whatever. I don't know if that's, what's keeping my channel back. But what I do know is I want to still make content I'm passionate about. I still want to do fun things. Like, one of the video ideas that I've had coming up, which when I find time for. It's like literally a day project. I'm going to take apart one of my old analog setups that's been sitting on the shelf for months now since I got DJI stuff. And I'm just going to super glue everything back together. I'm going to take all the screws, disconnect everything, the stack, everything is just going to be super glued together. There's not going to be any screws holding it together. Just for, fun. I just want to have fun with it. But yeah, it's kind of like that thing, like I want to get back to making content on my personal channel for me, because it's always started out as content that I wanted to make and I wanted to see, and through the whole, I don't know, year and a half of traveling / living in the RV, I kind of moved back to not doing like how-to videos, or I kind of lifted on the quality of my content. I feel like that's had an impact on my videos. The fact I post on average like once a week, or even less than once a week, I think has an issue with it. And as Mintaloo says, algorithms favor posting every day. Yes, kind of depends. I know a couple of pilots that post every day, their channels are empty. I think it's really high quality content now, / content that is like as Drew says, what is it that you get out of this video? What is it that you get out of this video right now, this live stream? Knowing where I am in my life, knowing what's going on. And that means on some level you probably care about me as a person in this world for some reason, and you want to know what's happening in my life because you're emotionally invested on some level. This is just a theory. I don't know if that's true. Maybe you like laughing at me. Maybe the I don't know. I don't know why people watch, but that's my theory. And as Minton says, care is a strong word. Oh, shush your mouth. But yeah, so like, other content, my flight videos, my 3D stuff. Honestly, 3D is hard to watch. If you're not already a drone pilot, if you're not already into FPV, if you're just like a random person that sat down to watch one of my 3D videos, your mind's gonna be like, the F am I watching? And I think for a lot of people, that's going to be, I think that's one of the reasons why my 3D stuff hasn't blown up as much as I think it could. Which is fine. I do 3D for me. It's not for anybody else. And I want to keep pushing my skills as a 3D fixed pitch pilot. Like, I've gone to the part, like, at one point in time, people said you can never do TikToks, pure flips, meh, you can't do all these things. I can do all that and more now. Pure flips, do it so effortlessly. TikToks, effortlessly. Coming up with new tricks and ideas for tricks, and especially now that I'm hanging out with Rotor Riot and the local 2-Watt crew, and, Rotor Bob, Quaddy Llama, Derek, Long, Digga, Lane FPV, like those guys, when I fly with them, I feel like I'm pushed to be a better pilot, and I'm inspired by their flying. And so I keep growing as a pilot, and for me, that's fun. And that's kind of what I live for. So this is a long video, a lot of rambling, but I have not made a rambling video in a long time. I haven't really, I haven't really told people exactly what's going on in my life, and for various reasons, largely I haven't had the ability to. I haven't had the ability to stream, which has been frustrating, and I've honestly been super freaking busy. Like, I've been busier in the last couple months than I have most of my life. So yeah, this is why this video exists, to give you guys an insight into what's going on in my life and what's next, what the next chapter might hold. And yeah, I think that's the whole reason this whole thing exists right now. So videos, what's coming up on my channel? One of the next videos I need to sit down to make is everyone's edit of my footage, to kind of go through, just like, hey, let's check out this flight video, let's check out this flight video, let's check out this vlog, and see, what ones I like the most, and then pick that to be the, primary editors. So when I record a vlog with my new badass internet, I can upload it to my online server, they can pull the footage, and within a day, I can just, like, after I get home, I can just offload it and be done with it. And then when they have it finished, I can upload it, or have them even upload it automatically to my channel. And for me, that's huge. Like, if I can start doing that, that means I can actually get, more content out. And, I still have the Searching for Life documentary that I still need to finish. I started editing some of it. I need to do a lot more voiceover work and kind of like A-roll, talking into the camera about what's happening, what's going on, why I'm doing what I'm doing in the video. So I kind of want to try to make that into like a polished 30-40 minute, mini documentary. And that's it's going to be one of my bigger projects I've been doing right now. And that was an amazing trip to Arizona. Like, basically the story of the documentary is I went searching for UFOs and aliens, and in the end I found myself as a person, which is kind of fun. And I didn't really find any UFOs. I did find some aliens, just not ones that are alive, kind of. And I flew to some amazing locations, got a lot of really cool footage. I met some amazing pilots along the way, and I had a blast, on that trip. And I can't wait to be able to get that video out eventually. And so being able to offload footage, like vlogs and stuff, will allow me to focus creatively on the bigger projects like the Outcast Droneworks build video, the creating 1-ish, 2-ish videos a week for Outcast Droneworks, a live stream, and then either a build video or something else, maybe once every 2 weeks to start out with. And then I also want to try to bring in collaborators. There's already people that have used the Microhawk kit and project for their own projects, and I want to be able to talk to them about what they've done, how they've done it, and kind of promote people in the Outcast Droneworks community that have done some interesting things with stuff that we worked on. But yeah, so that's going to be my focus with the channel. Work focus again, the Microhawk project, and yeah, I think that's kind of everything. I kind of want to keep talking, but it's almost been an hour. I didn't realize it's been that long. Yeah. The next video that I film / the next live stream may very well be from my new apartment that I have no furniture for. Yeah, I think I might do the, hey guys, let's watch and review these edits from people. And maybe just do that as a live stream, that way I can see people's reactions in live time and all this other good stuff. Which would be a lot easier, because like editing right now and finding the time to sit down for like 6 hours, 7 hours at a time to edit is pretty impossible for me right now, unfortunately. Like, I've had a hard enough time sitting down and finishing the long, involved build video for the Microhawk. Like, I'm trying to make it on a production level that's better than any build video I've done. Like, even the build video I have on my channel has like 60,000 views. No, Caps, I miss you. We need to fly together sometime, bro. But yeah, so like, there's stuff that's gonna happen. The other thing too, if you guys have any requests for the new workshop, if you have any ideas about what you think might be the ultimate FPV drone workshop, please let me know, because I am turning the entirety of my living room and dining room area into one giant drone workshop. That is my dream. I want to be able to do all of the things with it, and I want to build out something that is going to inspire me every day I wake up to do amazing things. Better lighting on your bench, says D. Yes. That's one of the things, like, I lighting in here is pretty meh. And I have some ideas. Like, there's going to be at least one 8-foot workbench. I also want to kind of build a secondary workbench next to that bench, so I can do multiple projects at one time and have the room I need to do X-Class stuff and just whatever it is I want to do. And also potentially have it set up so I have, room / a place for another pilot to come visit and sleep in my workshop. So I can invite friends out that I haven't seen in a long time, like Little A, some of my friends from Colorado. Like, hey, let's just come crash on my couch for a week. Don't worry about a hotel. Just get out here and, I'll feed you, we'll make content, have fun. That's kind of what I want to do, and then have the RV. I will really want to try to talk Drew and some of the crew into using the RV for a few videos. Come out to the West Coast. Let's go on like a week-long trip. Let's just pick a direction and go. Because honestly, that is the best thing you can do with an RV, is adventure. And it's about the adventure on the way versus the destination. Destinations are cool, but I feel like Rotorite could use some true, real adventure without trying to like shoehorn a video. And then also, potentially get some of that sponsored. Like, I want to do sponsored trips, essentially. If I can find a company to pay for the gas, I'm going to throw their logo all over that. Because gas is the biggest thing. Like, to do several thousand miles. Actually, it's gotten a lot cheaper. If gas stays the way it is, it might be a lot easier this summer to do some trips. Because this thing eats about 8 miles to the gallon. So it's expensive to move. So yeah, someone said my audio cut out, but it's still here, I think. But yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff on the horizon, and I'm really excited for my life. The biggest thing now after this video, and this is why I'm making the video right now, is that I have to finish packing up. Like, I start moving into my new place tomorrow, and I haven't had a chance to pack anything up. Oh, hey, Derek! Much love, my friend. Yeah, and Derek, I need your help. I need your help with the RV eventually when you have time to help me, maybe work on it a little bit and pay you for it. Yeah, please. Yeah, like I want to get things going with the RV eventually. But right now my focus is moving into the apartment, getting that set up. Getting the content going again, and getting stuff with Outcast Stormworks over the next month and a half solid. I want to make sure that, if people have any questions, concerns, if you're angry at me for some reason, like, I bought this kit and I thought I was going to get it next week. I'm sorry. Please be angry with me. Like, I don't know what else to say / do. We're doing everything we can to get them out. We're being as transparent as possible on the issues we're facing, getting those kits out. Because honestly, like, we went from having enough stock for like 5 to 10 kits in, because we were doing no advertising, just basically small word of mouth. And people at the time didn't even understand the concept behind the Microhawk. It was just a thing that I was doing. Like, I post footage and photos, or I wouldn't even post footage, I would just post photos, and people were like, why are you putting a pie on a drone? GPS navigation? iNav? What is this? And then people saw the Rotorite video, and a lot of people like, oh, that's what you're doing. And so, things are lighting up in people's heads. And, there's a lot of interest from, I've had several universities and schools contact me wanting to use it for their STEM programs, which is one of the main things I wanted it to be used for. I've had interest from interesting locations and places that want to use it in some of their projects for like first responder use. And then hackers that want to build a penetration testing rig that flies. It inspires me that one thing could be used for so many different things, and people are finally starting to catch on what it is that I've been working on. And it's cool. Life is good. It's not like it's easy. It's not like I get to, oh yeah, I'm just gonna sit back, relax, just gonna do nothing all day long and just chill and whatnot. No, I've got a lot of work to do still, and I'm inspired and excited to do it. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I am most excited right now. Because I know that if I do these things, I can continue growing the community, I can continue growing the Outcast Droneworks brand and product. And I can continue, doing what I love and getting paid for it and making a living doing it and enjoying myself a little bit along the way. And so that's been my focus. And I know I've been rambling. I'm going to end the stream here in a few minutes. Um, but yeah, the first things I'm going to do, so I'm just going to like go over what's happening this weekend, because if you're in the San Diego area and you want to help me move, you can help me move. It's not going to be very hard because I don't have a lot of stuff. It's not like I'm taking the workbench out. I'm taking my computer, my clothing, some of my kit. I'm going to probably buy new plates and stuff for my new apartment because I want to keep the RV, quote unquote, ready to roll if I want to use it and go out and do something. Or if I want to come back here and chill out with my North San Diegans and go fly on the weekends. Because I'm about an hour north from the workshop. And Dee asked, quick, is your project going to be like on GitHub or anything? Yes, we are starting a GitHub account for Outcast. I currently have a custom version of iNav that I'm using with it. That'll be up on there. And we'll have our Pi code base also on GitHub. And we'll be looking for people that want to help us develop it out and, rolling people into the project. Because it's going to be open source and we want to really give back to the community. That's why we're going to be making content on the open source aspect. And and realistically, the content we're making and the plot, like, you're gonna be able to use that Pi and that stuff, even on that stuff that's not our kit. We're just putting together something that people can easily get their hands on and build and use. But realistically, the stuff we're putting up on GitHub could be used with basically any kind of drone setup. If it runs iNav, you could put a Pi on it and do some crazy shit. So that's one of my passions. The fact that we're not just building a drone / making something that's going to be sold and closing stuff down. We're building a community to push an amazing idea and build amazing things and enable people to do even more amazing things easily. Because that's how cool stuff gets made. Like that's how the next generation of drone technologies gets developed. And be able to have a collaboration between people that have an idea and making it easy for them to implement an idea on a platform like the Microhawk very quickly without having to worry about like a 5-inch build or something bigger that's going to be unruly and potentially hurt somebody if it goes wrong horribly. I think it's very powerful. Having a rig that's essentially safe for anybody to flies itself. Like, people that want to start developing and have experience with Pis that have never flown before will be able to actually fly these things and use it for whatever they want to use it for. And that's, I think, very powerful because there are really no robotics kits on the market that fly. There's tons of robot kits you can build that do ground stuff and all this craziness. But, yeah. Zephyr asks, can I get a recap of why it might be the end? I am moving out of the RV, Zephyr. I am moving into an apartment, I'm keeping the RV, and the next chapter of my amazing life is about to start in the next week. So yeah, that's the recap of what's going on. The end of an era is the end of me not having to do the RV anymore. It's the end of the era. Because the RV was the answer to me getting through the tough times, and now the RV gets to become a chill thing for me to do when I want to go have fun, and then have, a workshop again and have stable ground under me. So I'm happy. And that's a big thing too, is like, I've dealt with so much in my life, and this is just a side note. I've dealt with so much in my life, and I've had so many stress, especially over the last 5 years. Before I got into FPV, a lot of you may or may not know, but I had extreme medical issues that really kept me from enjoying life. Like, I was super depressed. I had to drop out of college because I couldn't keep going to classes, and I couldn't even focus on classes. I couldn't even sit upright in my bed. And I found FPV. I found the passion to build and create and fly, and that's kind of what became my life. And it was very interesting because for most of my day I'd feel like absolute shit, and then I'd go fly for 5 minutes, a couple batteries, and I'd be on this high. It was like this instant antidepressant for me. And that became my love and passion. And then my little happy place. And then my happy place started growing and growing and growing and growing. And then it became flustered with sponsorships and trying to make it a living and all these other things that it got frustrating. And then it collapsed because now I just spent a bunch of my time in life doing something that at the time wasn't very profitable. Like I said, I wasn't making money from sponsorships. I wasn't really making enough money to live off of, but I was helping other companies promote and make product and all this other good stuff. Um, but now, I have that division. I have the job that I'm passionate about, which is creating the products and creating the technologies, which is one of my weird fortes. And I get to pursue that. And then I also still have my passion, which is, making content and flying and, keep pushing the limits of 3D and what I can make a 5-inch drone do. And so it's almost like true happiness. Like I most of my life, I felt like I've had struggles one or another. Before my health issues, I was actually a pretty happy person. I was living my best self, my best life, riding motorcycles, working on them on the weekends, going to school, enjoying learning. And then all this stuff happened and it just, shot me down. And even though I still deal with chronic pain issues, I've gotten a lot better with dealing with it. And it's something that's, made life a lot more difficult. But now that I've learned to live with it, and now I know, like, okay, I have a pain flare up, I know how to handle it. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to get through it. I'm still going to have a good day in a few days if I take care of it. I've gotten used to it. I used to feel traumatized by it, but not anymore. And so now, with everything else that's going on, caps, shush, you shush. With everything that's going on, it's, I am truly happy. The coronavirus kind of made me a little upset because, like, I moved and my game was thrown off. I was an hour away from the office. I wasn't able to socialize with the people I was socializing with, which made me happy. I wasn't able to fly as much. All these other things, I kind of like, meh. But, I've gotten through it. I've learned how to adapt. And now with work and everything else, I have this, like, weird, serenity about things. I'm not stressed out like I was. Even though a lot of things are stressful, and I can feel the stress at times, I'm not, like, freaking out over it. I'm not, like, I'm chill. I'm pretty fucking chill these days. So it's been good. And that's, it's a good update. This is the start of a new era. Hopefully a very happy era. And one of many new adventures and cool things to come. And that has me excited. Did you recycle the caption? Kind of. Wait, it says Black Friday deals? Yeah, this is not Black Friday deals. Although stay tuned for the Outcast Droneworks Black Friday deals, because there's going to be some cool stuff coming up. Whatever that is. But yeah, life is always going to be struggles. That's the thing about life. There's things you can control, and the things you can't control, you shouldn't be stressing out about. The best thing that I or anybody can do is take the little wins, keep pushing to do what you can do, and don't stress about the things you can't really do anything about. Because honestly, worrying about the things you have no control over just kind of makes everything else worse. It destroys your ability to focus on the things you need to focus on. And saying that's one thing. Learning how to live that is a whole different story and a much harder one to practice and live by. It's one that I've, been kind of taking to heart. And, things tend to fall into line if you let them and you keep working towards that effort. Like the apartment is something I've been looking for a while and trying to, figure out, okay, where am I going to put the RV? How am I going to be able to afford it? And weirdly enough, the RV park was $1,200 a month. To park the RV in a parking space was $1,200 a month. And my new apartment, that is square footage wise, like 4 or 5 times the size of my RV, is $325 more a month. So it's $1,525. That blows my mind. That's not that much more expensive to live in an apartment. And especially if I don't have to pay for a place to store the RV, which, adds up a lot. So it's cool. And like I said, be able to walk to work, be able to have the Outcast studio. And I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff. And I think that kind of concludes my rambling of stuff, because I've probably mentioned things like 3 times at different points in time in the video. And Moontaloo, my apartment will definitely have a giant RV space. I'm planning like a 10 by 10 portion of one of the workshop rooms that'll be open for me to do VR things, because I love VR. Cinnabite DMB says, right, your vibe is always tangible, and I thank you for everything you share and do. Oh, thank you. And it's thank you for that, actually. Yeah, so tonight I'm gonna start packing up and get stuff ready for the morning. I don't know if any of my coworkers and friends are gonna be available in the morning to help me move, because I know a couple people have actually, Cinnabite. I don't know if they're gonna be able to help me move or not, so I might just like rent a rental van, a moving van for the day, so I can get stuff moved myself and kind of take it easy. The biggest thing is moving my computer setup, and also having a computer desk at the new apartment, because I'm leaving the desk at my workbench here in the RV, and I need to find something temporarily, at least for the new apartment. One of my coworkers is giving me a really nice bed, so I'll have a California king bed for my new apartment, which is awesome because I'm a very tall person and my feet currently hang off of my queen size bed in the RV. So at least I'll have, that's my goal, is I'm going to have the bed, somewhere to sleep, and then a desk / something for me to work on my computer with. And the rest of it will fall into place. So, I'm going to pack up my clothes, pack up all my workbench stuff, disconnect my monitors. I might do it in like 2 loads, try to get everything non-essential over. And then, I don't know. Basically, my home in life is where my computer is and my workbench is. My workbench is the core of my life. I need to get that moved. And once that's moved, I'll be chill. But I need to figure out how to make that happen. And yeah, that's the core of it. Hopefully I'll be moved in by Saturday, fully, and then I can figure out how to get furniture now that most of the places are closed. So it's a lot harder to actually get furniture these days. So I'm gonna figure that out. And get better lighting. Start a GoFundMe. I don't need to do a GoFundMe for lighting, D. I have plans. I actually have an Amazon shopping cart with a bunch of lighting essentials in it. So I don't know if you guys... I don't know, this is a peek / what I want to do, but I have a vision for the workshop. If you know what Outrun is... Let me do a quick video. Let me see if I can pull up the thing. Let me bring up my desktop real quick, guys. Outrun. So Outrun's a style that I'm really, really into. And it's actually the style that Outcast Droneworks is kind of based off of as far as like an aesthetic goes. An Outrun room. It's kind of like, it's not cyberpunk. It's like retro futuristic. It has, if you see like the Outcast Droneworks studio, we have blue and pinkish light hues. It's literally an Outrun setup, and we're adding more to the studio to make it even more chill and vibrant, like these images. And so this is kind of the aesthetic I'm going for, at least for my workshop. And then my bedroom is gonna be Vaporwave. And you're probably asking, if you don't know what the two are, you're probably asking yourself, why the heck, what's the difference between Vaporwave and Outrun? Vaporwave tends to use a lot more whites and brighter pastels, and Outrun tends to be darker and uses more punky. So it's like a yin and yang of a certain style. So everything is there's gonna be tons of lighting, tons of accent lighting. And, I'm not going to get something from my apartment unless it fits within those styles, essentially. Because I'm in no rush to do it. And I'm not just going to get something so, oh, I've got a couch. Yay, I've got a couch now. No, I want to get the right couch. I want to get the right stuff, And purple's kind of my aesthetic, and Outrun and Vaporwave both use purple quite often in their styles. So yeah, maybe that's a little hopeful. We'll see. What about UFDA? I cannot speak to the UFDA crew. Not that I have any issue with any of the UFDA crew. It's just there's some stuff that happened recently that kind of caused internal strife, and a bunch of people kind of bummed out a little bit. I'm gonna be getting back to the shit show and whatnot. But yeah, that's, you know, that's kind of my plans. Yeah, no, 661, it's cool. Like, there's probably gonna be stuff that'll come out about what happened. Well, let's just say one person within the crew kind of did some things that screwed over a large portion of the Help Save Our Hobby movement. And let's just say everyone within UFDA sided with another person and basically, quote unquote, left because they didn't want to put up with the bullshit. And this, I don't want to get into the drama of that, because like I still hang out with a lot of the UFDA crew like every other night in Zoom chat. Like, the core people are still there. Like, we're still having fun and enjoying ourselves. It's just unfortunate that somebody could do what they did and kind of not just hurt the internal crew, but I don't know, it's rough. And we've been very silent about it because it has been related to Help Save Our Hobby. And, you know, the UFDA crew is behind that. There's a lot of people putting a lot of energy to make that happen. And why I haven't been on there on Tuesday, I've just been busy. Like, I haven't had, like, every Tuesday that I'm supposed to be on the UFDA crew shit show, I've just been sadly busy doing other things. And, you know, it's just the thing. So yeah, I think that covers it. I love you all. Thank you for being a part of this live chat. Joseph asks, "Hey, hi Z, where can I find an X-Class parts list for something legit?" Soon. Basically, you want APD ESCs. You're gonna want some big old honkin' motors. There's a lot of different motors you can use, but APD ESCs. Dysonian.com has some really cheap frames. You can get like I think they still have the $99 frame kits, which use aircraft grade aluminum. And, you know, I'm going to get back into that. I'll start getting back into, like, you know, X-Class related videos. So that's kind of where my passion is. And even though I feel like I don't know, I feel like ever since I left X-Class, it hasn't been remotely the same. And it kind of bummed me out, too, with what happened with that. But this is bleh. I am getting into the bullshit now. This video was supposed to be exciting and happy, and like, oh, look at all these cool things that are happening. Now I'm just talking about, well, this drama happened, and this drama happened, and that's why I'm not doing this, and that's not why I'm doing that. And no. I'm getting back in the UFDA crew. I'm still doing stuff with the UFDA crew. I am getting back into X-Class, still doing stuff with the X-Class rigs and whatnot. So, and a 3D X-Class rig is the goal. That is my new giant white whale. I am going to figure out how to make that happen because I have some big ideas for a giant drone that can do some amazing 3D acrobatics. So yeah, that's my goal. As far as X-Class goes, and this is, I guess, probably, no, I'm not gonna, that's a whole different topic for a whole different video. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I've been Z to the O to the FPV. You have been awesome. Look forward to another video, hopefully next week, from my apartment that will be completely empty, and me just sitting in the middle of a room watching videos and trying to showcase some edits that people have made. Yeah, thanks guys. Until the next times, I've been Z to the O to the, I already said that. Bye! Wait, yes, end.